أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome everyone. Today we're going to dive into a spiritual challenge that is, I think, really profound and deeply personal, something the Qur'an addresses head on.
It all comes down to this one idea, right? This is what we're going to unpack. It's this subtle, really dangerous illusion of entitlement. This feeling that our history or our community or just being close to a divine message somehow makes us immune to accountability. It's a trap, really. It turns what should be gratitude into a claim of privilege.
And just so you know, the insights for this whole explainer have been carefully put together by Mir Ali Shah, drawing from his amazing work on the Living the Wisdom of the Qur'an podcast. It's just a beautiful synthesis of classical commentary and mystical reflection.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by defining what this illusion even is, then we'll look at the Qur'an's direct response to it. After that, we'll get into the Sufi diagnosis of the ego, connect it to some modern psychology, which is fascinating, and we'll wrap up with a personal reflection for every one of us on this path.
Okay, let's dive right into the core of the problem, the illusion of entitlement. This is what happens when a community starts to mistake its blessings for some kind of permanent, guaranteed path to salvation.
The Qur'an just tackles this head-on. It critiques that full mindset that says, hey, because we are the children of so-and-so, or because we got the book first, we're somehow above the universal law of consequence. It's this belief that God kind of inherits communities instead of entrusting them. And as we're about to see, that's just a fundamental misunderstanding of the whole relationship.
So, to counter this, the Qur'an offers a really powerful corrective, especially in Surah al-Baqarah. And this isn't just some general warning. No, it's a specific, really detailed breakdown of that whole entitled mindset.
Now check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. The correction can be so subtle. In verse 210:4, the believers are commanded to change a single word. They were saying ra'ina, which, could be twisted to mean our shepherd, but it also had this disrespectful vibe in Hebrew. So the Quran corrects them, say unzurna, look upon us, a term of pure, clear respect. As Imam al-Ṭabarī pointed out, this shows you how even tiny little corruptions in our language can reveal a hidden contempt deep inside.
And then the Qur'an goes right to the heart of the matter, the ultimate claim of entitlement, exclusive access to heaven. This verse just perfectly highlights the danger of communal pride, where your identity itself is presented as the ticket to paradise. But God's response? It's a challenge, and it's based on reason. Bring your proof.
And then, boom, the very next verse lays out the universal principle that just shatters all those claims of exclusivity. It provides the true standard. See, it's not about which group you belong to. It's about what you do, surrendering your whole self to God and striving for excellence, for ihsān. Salvation is about your state of being, not your family tree.
The great classical commentators, they each pulled out a critical lesson from this. Al-Ṭabarī saw how your inner state shows up in your outer speech. Ibn Kathīr understood that divine guidance is a living thing, a relationship, not some fixed inheritance you get. Al-Qurṭubī spotted that bargaining mentality behind claims of special treatment. And al-Rāzī saw that in the end, all that reliance on your ancestors just dissolves before God. So this takes us from the outer, communal correction to the deep, inner spiritual disease. The Sufi masters, they identified this illusion of being chosen as the ego's most hidden and most dangerous fortress.
Imam al-Qushayrī he puts his finger right on it, doesn't he? The final idol we have to break isn't made of stone, it's a sanctified self-image. It's that moment when our gratitude for being guided curdles into a sense of exceptionalism, a spiritual narcissism where we start to believe we're God's favorites.
And Rumi just captures the heart of it with this stunning metaphor. It's about the difference between possessing a tradition and being transformed by it. You can hold the cup of revelation, you can boast about how beautiful it is, praise its history, but if you never actually drink from it, if it never gets inside you and changes you from within, it offers you nothing.
Imam al-Ghazālī gives us a serious warning here. He says this false security, this hope in our identity alone, without the balancing accountability of fear, it's a spiritual poison. Fear of God without hope can paralyze you, sure, but hope without a healthy fear of His justice, that just corrupts us. It makes us complacent and arrogant. And the great master Ibn Arabi gives us what might be the final key. Our connection with the divine isn't some property we own or an inheritance we just get. It's a living relationship. It's something that has to be renewed in every single moment, with every single breath. There's no inheritance clause in the covenant with God.
And what's really amazing is that this ancient wisdom finds its powerful echo in modern psychology. This isn't just a theological idea. It's a documented feature of how our minds work.
Psychologists call it moral licensing. It's our tendency to feel that because we've done something good or because we belong to a group that we see as good, we now have a license to be a little less careful about our behavior. And when you add group identity to that, it gets even stronger. I mean, this is precisely the collective moral free pass the Quran was dismantling 14 centuries ago.
So all of this brings us to the most important point. How do we actually internalize this? How does this profound guidance change the way we live and see ourselves? That's really the heart of our final reflection.
This is the question, isn't it? It cuts through all the noise, all the identity politics, the history, the community. When it's just you and your Lord, what is your state? What are you truly leaning on?
And the guidance leaves us with these beautiful, actionable principles. First, don't lean on who you are, your lineage, your label. Lean on what you are striving to become, right here in this moment. Second, your history might explain you, but it will never excuse you. And finally, stand before God empty-handed, because that state of true spiritual poverty, that's the only place where His mercy can really flow in and fill you up.
So we'll conclude with the spirit of this humble supplication, this munashat. O giver who owes us nothing, strip us of false inheritance. Make us poor before you so we may receive again. Amen.